Hello everybody, I'm Wendy and this is Summer Bay Studio. Today I'm working on a really fun little project, emphasis on little, because I'm making a tiny book. Now I'm trying to use sort of traditional bookbinding methods. Not that I'm an expert at all, but I have seen it done and I thought I'd give it a try in a miniature version. So stay tuned and see how it turns out. It's going to be super cute. All right, to start this project, which is going to be a miniature book, you're going to need either a tiny box like this or basically any size you want. Anything works. So you can use something like this, or you can use something like this, or packaging like this, or even just cardstock. But I'm going to be using this one because I love this little box and I want to make a tiny book. So to begin with, what I'm going to do is cut it open, and I'm going to cut off the side that is glued, where they've glued it. Let's just cut these off. Actually, I'm going to use these scissors for the little bits because they're way sharper. So we just take off all these edges because obviously they don't belong in a book. Okay, these ones I might keep those. I might need them for something, I don't know yet. I don't think so. So this is the side that you can see the seam here, where it has the overlap to make the box work. And it's uneven, so I don't want this one. So this little piece is going to be my cover. Straighten some of these out as need be. It's going to be covered anyway, so don't fret too much about it. I might need this one too, so I'm going to hang on to that because I can use it to reinforce this spine when the time comes. Okay, so I'll just put those aside. I don't think I even need my big scissors, so I might as well get rid of those. And for the pages, I bought this little block of pattern paper at the dollar store last week, and it has some really beautiful pieces in it, and they actually fit this to make pages out of this little book. I tried it, and as you can see, it's a bit too big. However, I want the pages to be about 1/8 of an inch in, and you have to kind of leave room because I'm going to make some signatures, which if you're new to this kind of thing, is a group of pages. So for example, let me just show you a book. When you see a book like this, you can see the pages here are put together in groups, and each of these groups then is glued to the binding and in the spine, and that piece is called a signature. So we're going to be making those, but we're not going to be gluing them. Now what I want to do for these is, I know I have to turn them, fold them in half. So I'm going to just choose a bunch, and I want to make, I think probably 4 signatures. Yeah, probably 4. And I'm going to use pattern paper throughout because the backs are plain. So there's going to be room for journaling or like whatever you want to use it for. You can make a glue book out of it, or a little journal, or almost like a gift card, sort of in place of a gift card. A card. What am I trying to say? A greeting card. Oh, isn't that pretty with the birds? So I'm just going to take a bunch of these out of here, and as you can see, there's lots of different patterns. Is that a repeat? I don't think so. And then I'll count them and see. Oh wow, I love that. I love patterns. I've actually designed some patterns and I just haven't had the time to kind of get them up and out there and on things, and I was doing that last year, and then stuff happens. Life gets too busy. with family and, let's just say, with situations that, you know, take your time. It's just a fact of life. I'm trying to figure out a way to reduce those. I love this one as well. It looks like a sketch. And here's the last one. And if I've taken out too many, it doesn't matter because I'm going to, what happened here? I'm going to use them sooner or later anyway. Okay, so if I did 4 signatures with say 3 papers each, that's 12. So, well, I ended up with 17, which is really not what I need. So I'm just going to take one out and do sets of 4. I think that'll work. Okay, now in order to make these signatures, I'm going to have to measure and cut, but I think I'm going to fold them all first, and that way I can just pop them in together. So I'm just going to quickly finish these. While I'm thinking about it, if you don't have pre-cut paper like this, it doesn't matter because you can just cut it. Cut any paper to whatever size you want. So like I've got this kind of paper, same source, and this is actually cardstock, but came from the same dollar store actually. You can just cut your own pages, just measure whatever size your little box cover is, and then cut your pages so that there's probably 1/8 of an inch of the cover sticking out from the pages. Okay, so here, these are our pages, and now what I have to do is cut them down to size. Just give them a really good squeeze there. Count them again, because sometimes that's off. I want to take off, about 3/8 of an inch. We'll do it just inside that. I think just at that first line will probably work. They're not going to be precise. I'm pretty sure of that right now. But I can actually line them up along here. Okay, so I don't need that here. And I need to measure. Okay, so there's my first mistake. I didn't cut it off enough. So we're going to go to this next line. But first I have to just take this one down a shaving. Alright, I'm going to cut all these and then come back. Okay, here's all our pages, and I accidentally jabbed myself with my cutter. It has a really sharp, tiny little pointy blade. It's one of the casualties of crafting, I guess. So here are my pages, and these are my leftovers, which happily are all the same size and can be made into another little book. And I actually have another little box like this, so I could make another one. But I'm putting those aside for now, and with these ones I'm going to make my 4 signatures. So I can choose whatever colors I want to go together and patterns and whatever, and I'm just going to pop them together like this. So there's, as you can see, there's kind of a color theme with this whole little pack, but I'm going to just kind of mix it up. So there's one signature. Now, when I've got these done, I'm going to actually sew them into the binding. Okay, we're all good. All right, now to put them in here, I need my awl, and you can use a large needle, same thing. You can even use a needle and thread to do this, or you can make holes and thread through whatever it is that you want to use to bind it together. I'm going to be using this twine. It's kind of a jute twine. I did look at doing some other things, like for example, if you wanted to, you could make the holes a little bit bigger and thread through some ribbon, like this kind of 1/8 of an inch ribbon. you'd want to have like a darning needle to be able to thread it through, or else just wrap the end in say just some cello tape so that it's hard and you can poke through the holes, but you want your holes to be fairly small. All right, and I think what I'm going to do first is just kind of, well, let me measure. I'm pretty good at eyeballing things, but sometimes it's better to measure. So this is approximately 2 centimeters. And I want 4, so I can't put one in the middle and then, you know, because that'll be like, I need 5. So I'm going to just mark my middle and then just kind of guess the rest. So I want probably here. So let's just imagine a line here. Now, I will not be putting them that close to the end. That's just a guideline for me to be able to see. So I now have to decide how far apart I want my holes to be. And I think I'm going to go with perhaps maybe 1/4 of an inch in from each end. I think that'll work. And this is a very sharp little unit. It's like a big needle. So now I just have to put the holes in it, trying not to bend the paper too much. I'm making them a little bit bigger because this is twine after all. It's got to go in there. Well, I should have a sponge. I have a little makeup sponge that was used for paint, and they're a little firmer. So let's see. That looks a bit better. Make sure the papers don't move around. Yeah, that actually works better, except for the stabbing the sponge part. Okay, there's all our signatures. Now I need to figure this out. Okay, I'm using this as a kind of a guide. In fact, I'm just going to make a line here so that I can easily see where they're supposed to land. And then I make the holes in the cover for each set. So this is kind of an old-fashioned way of binding a book. See that? They're coming out right. I'm always so delighted when things actually work the way they're supposed to. And quite frankly, kind of put out when they don't. Well, not with crafts, of course, because I'm a firm believer in the happy accident. The stuff around the house, it's supposed to work and it doesn't. It's like, fix that thing or get a different one. It's like when you're counting on something to work and then it doesn't when it's supposed to, which quite often happens when you're doing computer things, to be quite honest. It's like I'm on a deadline. Why do you quit now? There's all our little holes. Okay, so now we can attach our jute here, or hemp, or whatever it is. Well, I don't want to turn this into one great big tangle. I'm not sure where the end of it is. I should really wrap it around a coil of something. All right, I'm going to need to go through. I'm going to need at least double, and then enough to tie. I'm going to give myself extra, just so that I don't have to tie the ends when there's hardly anything there. That looks like it might be enough. So let's try cutting these. And I want a really nice blunt end, which my really sharp little scissors achieve. And I need 4 of them to do the binding. Now, I think what I'm going to do is put it through from the back, and then put the knot on the inside. I could do it the other way and then cover that up, but I kind of like, I don't know, I'm going to cover this up anyway, and I think it'll make a smoother job on the back if I do it like this. So now all I have to do is thread these through the holes in the signatures, like that. Don't need you anymore. Just tug it as tightly as you can. Tug it up tight. And then you want to tie it in a knot, like this. Move that down. Helps if you have a little person with a little finger to put on that, but lots of us don't, so. There. That's how it works. So I just have to do the rest. I will do those and then come back. Okay, here's our little tiny book. You can see all the bindings on the back, and I haven't cut off the binding strings on the center yet, but I will do that. And the measurements turned out exactly right. Now you'll notice that there's lots of room in here, but that's because we want to use it for a glue book or a journal or something like that. So I'm going to just trim off these little strings and leave a bit. If I wanted to, I could leave a couple of them and tie little charms to them, but I don't really think I want to do that, and besides, I don't think I have anything to tie onto them. I have to give more thought to that and go shopping more, obviously. All right, there's our leftovers. Now, I could just cover this with cardstock. I think I might be using this one. And let's see how it would do. Just going to flatten this out. It would actually probably cover fairly well, or I can put this on it first, which flattens it out and gives it a little bit more depth and more, I don't know, strength. So I think I'll start with that. Now, I guess I can flatten these into the center so that they're not kind of lumpy. Just do it like that. And I want this just a little bit shorter. Okay, now the question is which glue to use, and I'm thinking I'm going to try this one. I'm not sure how it's doing. Let's see, where's my scraps? I try everything on this, which, by the way, this is paint. I actually bought these little tiny things and put paint in it so I could write with acrylic paint. All right, let's see. Stuff is hard to get out of this nozzle. I think it's actually too small for how thick the glue is. So I won't use that one. I'm going to use this Aleene's clear tacky glue, which I think is the same glue. This just has a bigger hole. All right. So just, I mean, if you wanted to, you could use, you could cover your cover first and then have these show, because they are kind of attractive. But I didn't do that, and I'm not going to start now, obviously. And I'm using this glue instead of a white glue just because it's kind of thicker and tackier. And I'm going between my strings here so it gets lots of glue on it. All right, where's my lid? This one is, the glue is so thick you have to stand it on its head or it takes forever to tip over and get action. All right. This thing isn't completely even because it has that other piece or the side of the box wrapped over, but I don't really mind, and I don't think it's going to matter very much. So I'm just pressing that down really well, and wiping off the stuff that squeezes out. And what I'm going to do here for the moment is just clamp this so that it really gets the idea of what it's supposed to be doing. And let it sit there for a little bit. All right, now I want to put a cover on this. So I'm just going to go through some of my pieces here and decide on one. That is super cute. I love these retro prints. I like that one too. And that one. Oh, that's the same. Oh, love these things. And like I said, these are from Dollarama. I don't know if Dollarama is everywhere, but I'm in Canada and we have Dollarama and Dollar Tree and some independent ones. Okay, I like these. And I think what I might do is use more than one somehow and make a really cute cover. The only thing that concerns me is that they don't really match the interior. So hold on. I love them and I want to use them. However, I don't want it to be too much of a mismatch. And some of these are cardstock and some are not. They're just paper. Let's see if I can find something that matches. And this purple one goes. And I could actually use pieces of this, but let's explore this possibility first. Wow, there's hardly any here that have that kind of plum color. Okay, except for that, it's not really plum. Here's one. Actually, that's really nice, isn't it? With the map and everything. All right. As tempted as I am to use these vintage prints, I do want it to kind of go with the whole. So let's look at this one. Does it have an upside? Yes, I guess it has. This one. All right, so what I want to do with this, I'm just going to leave this clip on here for the moment. I want to be able to wrap it around the edges. Not all the way, because on the spine part there isn't going to be much room. But what that means is I'll need to make it a little bit bigger. And how much do I want it to wrap around? I am going to say, I'm not going to use that. I am going to say, let's cut it here and about here. This is how I get away with not measuring, because there are measurements on my cutter. I think that's going to work. Wants to kind of lift off there in the middle, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be covered up anyway. Now I'm keeping my fingers well away. I think I want these roses on the front. So in order to make this work, I'll have to erase this line because I want this to be the front. You know what? I have to rethink it here. If I want these roses to show on the front, then I need to measure it from this side rather than from the top, which is easy to do. So this is going to come like that, And this is going to be about like that. And every time I touch this thing, I get glue on my fingers here. So let me just wipe that off. All right. Okay, here's one mark. And the way I'm going to measure that is just by lining it up with this little line on the cutter. Okay, that's a discard. And this one, same. Just put it in the middle here of this line. You can kind of eyeball a lot of measurements. Especially when something like this, like I'm folding the edges over, so it's not going to make a difference. Okay, this is going to be the cover. So this is the front. That means it'll go like this. Now I want to cut the corners so that I can kind of miter them. There, like that. This is going to be easier if I just pick it up and hold it. Just hold it in place. Or I could just draw a line around it. Hey, hey, the girl is getting smarter. See, sometimes when I'm just making it up as I go along, I come up with new ideas how to do it faster and easier. This needs a little bit of a trim here. Okay. We'll go into this corner and out like this. Into this corner and out like this. And into this corner and out like this. And then I'm going to score it. I need the scoring board. I'm sure there are other ways to do this, but I have the stuff I bought. You know, I get to use the stuff I bought. So that makes it kind of fun. Okay, I'm just lining it up on a line here. You know, the fun thing about making videos for me, besides sharing them with people, is just that I get to make stuff all the time. And that is one of the most fun things for me. Oh, you know what? I think I should probably score the inside as well, the corners. Alright, not done yet. So I need to mark them first. Like that. And then we'll just find some lines here to, let's do it this way. Now I think we've got it nailed. We'll find out anyway. Alright, so this is for the spine. And I think I'll just cut into here. Yeah, I think that will make it easier. Then the cardstock won't be fighting itself to turn corners. Okay, this is my front. Okay, let's go here. Let's try this. See if it fits. Well, it's a bit tight. I think we're gonna make it happen. Oh my, that's so cute. Oh, you know what? The map's upside down. Well, okay, suddenly this part's the front. Well, that's okay. I'm fine with that. Paris is always a good idea anyway, right? Now, I think what I will do with this is I'm going to use the tacky glue again and just go along here and here So we'll do this part first. All right, so that's the front page, and Paris goes on the front page. Okay, I'm folding these out again so they don't get into the glue. Putting this down, getting it into position like that. Okay, now I'm going to lift up my pages, just kind of get them out of my way. Put a nice big clip on them so they have to stand up like that. Okay, got that? And then, let's see. I'm going to use this again, I guess. Just put a thin one along there. Put it on here. A little bit of both. Okay. I'm standing this up in this mug that I keep paintbrushes in so that the glue always stays down near the bottom. All right. It's a bit of a handicap having a band-aid on my finger. However, better than bleeding on things, which I promptly did as soon as that little thing stabbed me. Oh, look at this. It's just adorable. It's adorable. Okay, stick down. Some glues dry faster than others. Now we have a bit of a problem here in that because this is cardstock, it kind of split. But I have a solution for that sort of thing. I bought these rub-ons from the dollar store again the other day. They had some really nice fall ones. And so I thought, oh, I'm just going to put one of these leaves in my planner just to decorate it a little bit. I like decorating everything. Well, as soon as the sheet touched the paper, it was stuck. The whole thing. Or almost the whole thing, because I was holding part of it. And I was like, well, I didn't really want that whole thing. I just wanted that one leaf. So I learned my lesson. With those, you cut it out first. Cut out the piece that you want. Now, look. Just call me glue fingers. Now, you know what? Look at this, how perfect this is. That will line that. Now, what do I do with this? I think I have to just cut it off because it's going to be too difficult to put a little wee, like less than, like a 1/16 of an inch, or, you know, a couple of millimeters along the end there. I'm actually bilingual in measurement, in case you hadn't noticed. The reason is because when I was young, little, you know, in school and whatnot, till I was an adult, basically, I was in the imperial system here in Canada, and then we had this prime minister who figured he was something great. Not my favorite, I have to say. Who decided we needed to go metric. And halfway through the changeover, he got voted out. So we're stuck with half and half, really. It's silly. I think I'm going to have to measure this. Okay, unfold it to start with. All right, I need to cut it right there. So that'll work for both sides as a liner or a frontispiece or whatever you call it. Okay. No, it won't work for both sides, but the measurement is the same. So I'm going to cut this piece because it had a fold in it. Make sure I can actually see that little mark. right, there's that. And now I need to measure it the other way, which is this way, so that it makes a nice lining. And I think I'll make it right about there. Make it easy to see. Okay, there's my line. Okay, there's my little pieces. This can go with the others. That can go back in its little bin. And these, I think I'm going to use this glue because it's got a finer point on it. Provided it's working. I tried to use it the other day and it had a little blob in it and it just kept clogging up until I was about ready to pull out hair. There, I had to glue that down right away. My camera battery ran out about the moment I had the glue on the back of this thing. So there's that. And here's the other one. Now, I turned the book around, so I think I should go this way. Okay, there's that. Everything feels a little bit damp. Now, I promised to address this situation here. And the way I'm going to do that is with either a marker. See, I've got the same kind of thing going on here. You know what? Oh, I have a better idea. I'm going to distress the edges. And that'll cover it right up. Plus giving it a really super nice look. Sort of an antique-y look. I'm actually going to trim this just a shade because it's kind of popping off there. But it's not going to show anyway, so look at this. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love making things like this. I wonder what I should do with it. I want to fill it, obviously. Maybe I'll give it away or kind of raffle it off or something. I don't know. Should I have a contest? Okay, now everything is damp and I want to really be careful here. Paper will stretch, but it will also tear. There, look at that. Success. Now, one thing I notice right away is when you do this, you get this. So what to do about that? Just take your scissors and cut them off. Some that stick out more than others. I think the pressure of the cardstock is making the spine just bow in a little bit this way, which is pushing the pages out a little bit. So I could have just left a little bit more space towards the edge, but alternatively I can just, I think I'll use the big scissors because then you can get a nice long cut. See how easy that was? So I could do that with all of these, or I could just leave them, because once I'm done, I could leave them until I'm done. I don't know yet. It needs to stick down. And what I can do now is just go through and start decorating the pages. And I've got my tiny ephemera pieces in here and elsewhere. So little things like this work. I think it's going to be a heap of fun. However, I'm not going to do it today. The glue needs to dry. The whole thing needs to dry, and then I'll probably trim up those little pages a bit, and then maybe next time we'll work on it. So there's our project for today. I think I'm really pleased with it. I think it's delightful. And I think it would make a lovely little gift once you finish it. And then I could wrap a ribbon around it so that it kind of holds together. Once it's dry, it's going to be different. I know that. I have a feeling. Anyway, there's our tiny book. Please subscribe to my channel and click the little bell so you get the notifications when I have a new video, which come out twice a week, Monday and Thursday at the moment. If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up and click the like button. And I'd love it if you'd leave a comment. And I'll see you next time.